Alright, hi folks, this is Alan recording another Magic the Gathering comprehensive draft video, and I swear this will be my last Coreset 2020 video before we move and dive onto Ikoria. Just don't have enough gems currently, and just firing this off because I'm currently bored right now, and I don't really like playing online too much. It feels better sometimes to just hold the cards in your hand and slam it down in real life with your friends. But other than that, yeah, let's fire off this last Coreset 2020 video until we do some Ikoria. And I think I will do the bot drafts since they're a little bit more cheaper and there's more rounds between them. But I'm quite familiar with the format for Ikoria and Coreset 2020, of course. So let's begin. And pack one, pick one. What do we open? Well, Drakusef is definitely a huge bomb. Obviously, it doesn't come in with an ETB effect, so it's still vulnerable to efficient, cheap removals such as murder or pacifism or sleep paralysis the moment it comes down on the battlefield. But if you're able to swing once, you can basically win the game. It is 7 mana, which is asking a lot, of course, but yeah, I mean, you attack once, you pretty much win the game. Red, however, does want to be more hyper-aggressive, and it wants to be more low to the curve, so getting the 7 mana isn't necessarily reliable in an aggro red deck, so maybe this is better in like red-green, mid-rangey, aggressive, slower version of the red decks, but still, since green can provide the ramp, it works better in a green deck. But I mean, it can still be a fine curve topper. I don't mind it. Sometimes you just slam it down and win. So graphic stuff can be a clear pack one, pick one. Looking at the uncommons, there's God's Willing, which is an excellent, almost basically is a 1 mana counter spell. Scry 1, which is very powerful. So the opponent usually will have a hard time playing around this, and is quite efficient. Definitely an excellent uncommon, although white is considered the worst color in the set, and I tend to try to avoid white. It's definitely a powerful pick if you're staying in white. Meter Golem is also a great first pick. It goes into any deck. Definitely, I would prefer Drakusef over Meter Golem just because of its game-winning ability, but this card is definitely very efficient. At 7 mana, it doesn't ask much of you, just enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanents, and if you pick up some of those Renowned Weaponsmiths, you can ramp this out even quicker. So yeah, definitely a first pick contention as well. And looking at the commons, the Cloud Concealer stands out as the best of them. There's some other good commons like Embercat and Boreal Elemental, but Cloud Concealer stands head and shoulders above the rest of those two. Efficient 3-drop, doesn't ask much of you, enters the battlefield, draws a card. Yeah, just a solid card. I would even maybe try to pick this over Murder. I don't know, in the pick one situation, it will be definitely very close between these two. This has elemental synergy, I mean, and it's just already an efficient threat at 3 mana. So the question is, which one do I take? I think I would take Drakusef over Meteor Golem just because of its game-winning ability. Meteor Golem is efficient removal, but Drakusef, if it lands and attacks once, it basically wins you the game. So I think it has a lot more upside than Meteor Golem. Of course, it is 7 mana. It does want you to ramp this out, perhaps. But even then, I guess even in aggro red deck, this can be like a really powerful curve topper if you get to turn 7. So this can be like a nice one-of. And between Cloud Concealer and Drakusef, I think I'll still take Drakusef. I mean, this is also just in the same category as Meteor Golem as a great first pick common. Between Meteor Golem and Cloud Concealer, I mean, I don't even know which one to pick. I would probably take Cloud Concealer since it's cheaper, enters the battlefield, draws a card, and yeah, just a cheaper card that you can play, and you would rather play cheaper cost cards. But I mean, Drakusef can just win the game, so there's that upside. Cloud Concealer has more combo potential with the elemental synergies. So yeah, I think it's just really between these three, and I think I'll just take Drakusef. I mean, come on now, it just 7/7 flying, which is basically pretty much impossible to kill via combat damage or any damage-based removal. When it attacks, it just basically Yeah, it can basically sweep the whole board or deal 7 damage to the opponent's face. So yeah, this card's a game winner. So yeah, let's pick it here. Dracoseph seems pretty strong. Otherwise, I think I would take the Cloud Concealer since it's more reliable and flexible. But it's 7 mana, win the game. Let's go for it. And here, nothing exciting in red. The best card in this pack is probably just the Bloodthirst Aerialist. There's Seasonal Growth, which I do like a lot. I think this card is good. However, I don't want to take it over like a Bloodthirst Aerialist. Even if it has one counter, a 3-mana 3/4 is already a nice efficient flyer. It doesn't have to be necessarily in the black-white life gain deck. In black, there's plenty of life gain synergies, such as cards like Blood Burglar, Agonizing Siphon, or the 1-mana 1/1 Death Toucher. The Vampire, I forgot what it is, that has lifelink. So yeah, I think I'll take the Bloodthirst Airless. Maybe we do end up in black-red again. I'm getting tired of drafting black-red, but I guess the bots don't value it enough, so we'll take it here. Well, there's an Audacious Thief. This card is definitely very excellent. This is definitely one of the best commons in the set. I mean, if you can get this, if you can protect this and just constantly attack with this, then it can just basically win you the game by drawing you a bunch of cards. So I definitely think it's the choice here. Otherwise, Angel Vitality could be an option if I just want to lock myself up into the black-white life gain deck. But it is still early in the draft. I don't think I want to commit to an archetype right away. I don't think Angel Vitality is busted. I think it is definitely a good card. And if you are in a black-white life gain deck, it's definitely excellent, but it's not game-changing enough for me to take this. I think the Audacious Thief is the clear choice here, just to kind of keep ourselves in black, and we'll see what we pick up along the way. Here, there's a Reduce to Ashes in case we need removal. There's a Blood-Soaked Altar. I mean, this card is not amazing in black-red. It's definitely fine in like black-blue or black-green if you have a lot of sacrifice tokens. I mean, you can basically create 5/5 flyers. But it is an enormous cost, though. Paying 2 life can be a detriment. Discarding a card and sacrificing a creature. I guess a sacrificing creature isn't that important since you're exchanging it for 5/5. But you're still paying 2 life and discarding a card. And this is 7 mana. So it's going to be quite expensive. I mean, there's other good options here. There's a Reduce to Ashes if we want to stick with black-red as a fine removal spell. Winged Words is excellent if we want to maybe speculate onto blue. And some okay green cards here, like Netcaster Spire. I don't think the choice here is Boneclad Necromancer here. I think it's just between like Reduce to Ashes or Winged Words. I mean, since we already have Dracoseph, we could just speculate on this Reduce to Ashes. It would lock us up into black-red, of course. But I mean, with Dracoseph, I mean, it is a high incentive to want to stick with black-red. I mean, otherwise, we did pass up a Cloud Concealer pack 1, pick 1, and seeing this late shows that blue could be open. Reduce to Ashes is not the most efficient removal spell, but it is a fine one-of in any red deck. So yeah, I'll speculate on the Reduce to Ashes. Maybe black-red is where you're supposed to be again. But I do hate passing up on Winged Words and the Cloud Concealer, but Dracoseph is really good, so we'll take that. And here, still late, God's Willing. I think it's an Agonizing Siphon here. Soul Salvage is fine, but I don't want to take it too early. I'll definitely take it early if I'm more in a more controlling black deck. And I mean, we could be like in this black-red control deck almost, but red does typically want you to play aggro. So I think I'll take the Agonizing Siphon here. Just flexible as a fine removal spell, gains you life, dealing 3 damage. Yeah, pretty decent card. Here, I think I'll take a Goblin Smuggler, some late blue cards on Summon, and a Renowned Weaponsmith. Renowned Weaponsmith is definitely very good, especially if you can fetch a Bows and essentially ramp out your artifact minions like the Meteor Golem. But I mean, we just took a Reduced to Ashes and Dracoseph, and Goblin Smuggler is just a great combo with the Audacious Thief, so I guess we'll just force ourselves in black-red aggro again. I don't hate it. And it's kind of late anyways, picking up the Renowned Weaponsmith. Now between Sanitarium Skeleton and Scorch Spitter, It is kind of close. I think Scorch Spitter would play better in the aggro components. It's if you can Goblin Smuggle it, it can do 2 damage right away. Sandhairm Skeleton is a fine one of as well. It's great. It's great sacrifice fodder in case you pick up cards like Bone Splinters. But either way, even if we pick up Bone Splinters, I think I would be happy sacrificing the Scorch Spitter anyways late in the game. This is definitely a good black common, but I think this deck prefers, if we're going to be in the black-red aggro deck, I think I'll take the Scorch Spitter here, just to have like a creature that can deal 2 damage if we pick up like Goblin Smugglers. Here this pack is pretty awful. We could just take a Cryptic Caves to avoid flooding. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Goblin Bird Grabber. I think this card's only playable in like blue-red, which is essentially flyers. But outside of that, it's pretty terrible. Not a big fan of Maniacal Rage since it gets it out of the 2 power range and it can lead you to a 2-for-1. So yeah, maybe we do end up playing Cryptic Caves, but it could interfere with the triple red mana cost of Drakuseth. I do like myself Chandra's Embercat. We currently don't have any elementals, but if we pick up Lavakin Brawlers, this can help us ramp. Otherwise, between like Gorging Vulture and Blade Brand, it would be close. But I think I'll take an Embercat here. And another Scorch Spitter, sure. Okay, so apparently the bots don't value black-red enough. I think it is by far the most powerful archetype in one of the most powerful archetypes in M20. I think it's slightly behind blue-black, but it's definitely top tier, and they don't value it enough. So hopefully we can pick up some on-colors, rares, or great uncommons for this deck. We'll see. And, there's a Chandra's Spitfire. This card is definitely great, especially with all these Scorch Spitters. If they're able to sneak in some attacks, this can just become a 4 mana, 4 power, 3 toughness flying creature. There's Vengeful War Chief, which is also a decent curve topper, but it's nothing exciting since it's a bit slow to get this growing. It is a nice combo with the Audacious Thief, but it is still slow. In a pack 1 pick 1 scenario, this pack doesn't look great. It would be, the best cards are like maybe like Leafkin Druid, Rabid Bite, Boreal Elemental, Sanitarium Skeleton, and the rest of these uncommons are, I wouldn't first pick a Chandra Spitfire because it just requires too many synergies to get going, but now with triple Scorch Spear, I think it's the clear choice. Pack 1, pick 1, I don't know, maybe just a Leafkin Druid, since it's a nice mana dork, and those are always great and limited. But yeah, I think I'll take a Spitfire. Overall, not very exciting pack 1, pick 1. Pack 2, pick 1, I mean. Yeah, this pack is pretty bad. Could just take a Keldon Raider, helps us loot. It's a decent 4-drop. We don't have any 4-drops currently. Or we just take a Soul Salvage as a fine one of. Since, I mean, we can always pick up Lavakin Brawlers to replace the Keldon Raiders. This pack is also not exciting. The best cards like Howling Giant and Pacifism. And I would prefer Howling Giant if this was still my pack 1. So it's close between these two. I think we'll take the Keldon Raider. We do need to fill a gap at 4 here, and we don't really want to prioritize too many Soul Salvages in this black-red aggro deck since we're going to be much more aggressive than usual. We just want to curve out and smash. Ooh, Fenlurker, I do like this card a lot. I also wouldn't mind a Phantom Fleet Cutthroat since it's a good 4-drop that can follow up with our aggressive game plan. Since if we attack and the opponent blocks, we can just kill it off, but it's definitely not better than Fenlurker. There's also Pattern Matcher, which is also excellent. If we do pick up multiple copies of powerful creatures, this can just be a nice 2-for-1, since it can not only place a 3/3 body on the battlefield, but also fetch us a card. But, you know, the only copies we have is the Scorch Spitter, and I don't even know if we're going to end up playing 3 copies, to be honest. But this does have a lot of upside too, but I think the Fenlurker is just an excellent 2-drop that we can use, so I think I'll take it here. And another Spitfire. I think I prefer the Spitfire over the Embercat. We currently don't have too many elementals we want to ramp into besides just a Spitfire. And this has a lot more potential, I think, with triple Scorch Spitter. But hopefully we can pick enough ways to grant them evasion so we can grow this. But, you know, it's a fine 3-drop. It can be an okay blocker at the end of the day. And there's some other good 2-drops in this set that I don't mind taking. Also, Soul Salvage would be a consideration, but I think I'll take the Spitfire over it. And another Audacious Thief, excellent. Wouldn't mind a Bone Splinters as well, but Audacious Thief is great. And don't hate myself a Pack Mastiff. This card is one of those excellent 2-drops since they can pump themselves. And usually 2-drops are bad if they're just vanilla 2-2 since they can get blanked pretty easily. But since you can pump this, it can trade up. So this card rarely gets blanked. Otherwise, I think I would take the Soul Salvage. But again, I don't deem it hype super necessary for this black-red aggressive deck. I don't think we're a grindy deck either since we're kind of lacking the removal. We just want to just curve out and smash ASAP. Could just take another Pack Mastiff. I think I'd rather have another 2-drop over the Blade Brand, but it is close. Blade Brand is definitely a fine card, but not over the Pack Mastiff. Just want to make sure we have enough 2s, and I don't hate myself a Cutthroat since we're going to be aggressive. Just curving out into this is really nice since it can be kind of like a pseudo removal option that we have. So yeah, sure, we'll take it. We are passing a lot of Soul Salvage, but keep in mind we don't really necessarily need them. Could end up playing Sanitarium Skeleton, who knows? Maybe not. None of these matter. Even another Scorched Bitter. I could just take a random Fire Elemental. Like, we have 3 of these already. I mean, only if we pick up more Goblin Smugglers, this can get better. 1-mana 1/1s get blocked pretty easily, so maybe a Fire Elemental can make the cut. But hopefully not. Alright, so final pack, could just use a Soul Salvage, definitely need a lot more Goblin Smugglers. Some Lavakin Brawlers at 4 would be pretty nice. Maybe a Murder or another removal spell, but we'll see. Overall, this deck is definitely shaping out nicely. And here, well, there's a Mask of Immolation. I don't hate it. It's a nice combo with the Spitfire and the Sanitarium Skeleton. I don't hate it, since if you can attach it to the Sanitarium Skeleton, you can just return it. And then sacrificing this at instant speed, dealing face damage can be nice, since the Chandra Spitfire can hit for 4. Overall, not a very exciting pack. Wow, this pack is pretty awful. I think the best card in this pack is, like, Pacifism. In Pack 1 Pick 1 scenario, I think I would even just take the Pacifism. Mask of Immolation is not a great card. It's better if you have some combo synergies like what we have, but overall I wouldn't pick it if I didn't have it. But yeah, this pack is just awful. Jeez. Could take a Bone Splinters, don't hate it. This pack is also not great. I think I would take another Pacifism or maybe Warden, speculate on White-Blue Flyers if this was still Pack 1. I think this Bone Splinters kind of makes sense in this weird deck. Just to have a little bit of removal. Yeah, this is not great. I'm not a big fan of Goblin Ringleader. I don't think we have enough Goblins, but I could settle for a Cutthroat. There's also Heart Piercer Bow, which can kind of combo with the Phantom Fleet Cutthroat, but I think I'd rather just have the 4-drop. There's also Marauder's Axe. If we did pick up a million Goblin Smugglers, this would be great, but I think the Cutthroat is just a clear choice here. Could just take a Soul Salvage now. Don't hate it. Evolving Wilds is fine. Don't think I need this 3rd Cutthroat. I think having at least one Soul Salvage in this type of deck is much more reasonable. There's also an Aeronaut, which is okay too. I would definitely take it over the Fire Elemental. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to be playing triple Scorched Bitters here, but I think the Soul Salvage is a little bit more important in this type of deck. And, well, there's another one. I don't think we're playing Sorcerer, but I don't think we're playing second Soul Salvage at the very least. Could just stick the uncommon for gems, so I think I'll do that. Alright, another Cutthroats. Okay, all the Cutthroats. So you definitely want to be aggressively attacking. And another triple Chandra Spitfire. Don't know if we need another one, but, I mean, what else do we take? I mean, our 2-drops are looking good. There's a Keldon Raider, but that's always replaceable. Might not play the 3rd Spitfire, but we'll see. And don't know if I need to main deck 2 Bone Splinters. Our removal doesn't look all that amazing. Like, this is basically essentially the removal. And how much sacrifice fire do I have? I do have Sanitarium Skeleton and a Fenlurker. But this can lead to a 2-for-1. I can end up 2-for-1ing myself. If we could build a deck now, how would we build it? I think we would cut the Fire Elemental ASAP. Could even consider cutting Dracoseph, but he is a game winner. I don't even know if we're going to end up playing Cryptic Caves. Could cut a Spitfire, potentially, maybe maybe the Scorch Spitter, and this would kind of be our deck, I think. Maybe 16 lands, since we don't have a 5-drop, and then hopefully we can get to 7 with Drakusef. I don't know. Just take the Bone Splinters. Alright, overall this deck is fine, it's nothing impressive. It's definitely missing some key components, like the Goblin Smugglers in these black-red aggro decks, like the ones I've recently drafted. But it's okay, I can still settle for it. I think now with Drakusef, and we're going 16 lands, I don't think we can afford to play Cryptic Caves, even though it can stop us from playing. We could go 17 lands, but with all these 1-drops, and these 2-drops, and then this low curve at 4, I think we just want to stick with 16 lands so we can just cut the Cryptic Caves. I mean, I guess we could still play 17 lands, and maybe we can just get away with like a bit of a low curve. I mean, other than that, if we're playing 16 lands, what will we add in? I mean, triple Spitfire isn't all that amazing unless you can always deal non-combat damage. Therefore, we always need to connect with the Scorch Spitters, which, you know, we don't have many ways to grant evasion. Mask would have to sacrifice a ton of stuff. We could Agonizing Siphon the face, of course, but that's... You tend to typically want to use this onto the creature, so I don't think we need triple Spitfire. I also don't think we need triple Scorch Spitter. So yeah, it could just be like this. Could just maybe play a Bone Splinters, I don't know. Since we are kind of lacking on the important, crucial removal options. So we take our non-human stuff, creature stuff here. This can be fine. Calendar Raider could also be cuttable. But we are running 17 lands. It could prevent us from flooding. I could actually see myself playing a second Bone Splinters due to our lack of removal and ways to efficiently remove the opponent's threats. And in this case, if I'm playing the Bone Splinters, what would I cut? Maybe just the Keldon Raider since it's at double red. I think the double black cards are better. We do have triple red for Drakusef. I could cut Drakusef, but he's kind of like a last resort option if we can't close out the game. And I'd rather have him in the deck, so yeah, we could just cut Keldon Raider. Or we can just cut a Scorch Spitter, to be honest. We are running 18 creatures. Yeah, Scorch Spitter doesn't look all that amazing. I can see myself cutting one, and then adding in the Bone Splinters. And then this can just kind of be our deck. I could even just cut the Soul Salvage, since it's a bit of a slow, grindy card. I mean, it is nice card advantage if we're able to just trade off. Or if our creatures end up getting killed, we can just fetch them back, so it can be pretty nice. Fire Elemental is just not that amazing. Since it's just a clunky blocker at the end of the day. It doesn't have too much synergy. Spitfire can maybe get away. Double Spitfire can maybe get away with one Scorch Spitter. A Mask, maybe. I mean, there's also Bird Grabber. Like, with double Chandra Spitfire, it could be alright, but it is still conditional. Yeah, I think it needs to be like this, because we're kind of lacking removal. So yeah, let's try this out. And yeah, Drakusef is basically our first pick. So yeah, let's try this out. And our mana base, I think we're favoring black a little bit more, so I think we're fine cutting off a mountain, adding in a swamp, and yeah, let's try this out. Well, I don't really want to bottom a Goblin Smuggler, and I think Goblin Smugglers is one of those important, crucial cards in this type of deck. So I think I'll keep, and hopefully we find a 2 or 1 drop. But overall, not an exciting hand, but it's still playable, and I do like me a Goblin Smuggler. And I'll start with a Swamp in case we top deck a Yorox Fenlurker next on turn 2. Opponent flashes in a Spectral Seer. This is definitely an excellent card. Wish we had some cheap, efficient removal like Shock to answer this, since I don't really enjoy using a card like Bone Splinters against this. The opponent's definitely curving out nicely, so don't know if we're going to get this one. I mean, it is a bummer how he's curving out really nicely and just aggressively punishing us here, even being able to activate the Metropolis Sprite. So I would hate using cards like Bone Splinters against these types of cards, so maybe this matchup isn't for us, but I'll happily just play out the Goblin Smuggler here and get in for 3. Since there's no way this can block any of the flyers, I might as well attack in for 2. Next turn we can play out the Keldon, loot away the land, and maybe get something better. But yeah, overall I think this is still a 17 land deck with all these 4 drops that we have. Opponent might be missing a land drop here. I guess he didn't since he didn't pump. So he could have a turn 3 play. Okay, blue-white flyers. Could have a counter spell. But I think I'll attack in for 2. He could have the ambush, but I do need to kind of pressure the opponent. Okay, now we can play the Keldon Raider, and I'll discard Swamp Sins because I need triple Mountain for Drakuseth. You could counter here, but there's not much I can do about it because any 4-drop he would counter most likely. And then we can loot away the Swamp, since we don't need it. And it's now kind of awkward since we have double Bone Splinters and none of these creatures we want to sacrifice. So hopefully we pick up something cheap to get them out of the way. Now, I don't really want to, again, Bone Splinters his aerial threats. Opponent attacks, so he could be holding up something. Alright, guess we'll move to combat. Don't really have anything at instant speed, but I do need to pressure the opponent again. So I'm fine if he does anything here, like bounce back or maybe follow. Okay, so he's just trying to buy some time. Can I afford to play Audacious Thief? Probably not, since it's going to drain me. So it's actually a weird play, but I think I'll play the Cutthroat since it's a little bit harder. And I don't really want to lose life since the opponent is dealing a lot more damage in the meantime. If the opponent stays back next turn, what can I do? I could just attack with both of these since he's forced to like maybe double block one of them. Right, Aerial Assault. Now he gains 2. Sure. We are still dealing more damage in the ground. Ooh, now I do like myself a Spitfire since now I can block the air units, so I don't hate it. So let's move the attacks. Get in there. And then now this Spitfire can basically block off his aerial units, which is really nice. I think I need to preserve my life total from here, since I don't really want to take too much damage. And we'll pass turn. Don't think there's anything I need to Bone Splinters. And then unsummon. Okay, just a nice temple play from the opponent. But he's still not killing me here. He still only has flyers pressuring me. Well, Dungeon Geist is a nice target for me to Bone Splinters. Ooh, that's a nice pickup. So now we can just play the Sanitarium Skeleton. We can Bone Splinters it. We can Bone Splinters the Dungeon Geist. Sacrifice the Sanitarium. Now we can play out the Spitfire as a good blocker, and then we can unlock this Cutthroat. So happy that that was a pretty nice top deck, since our Bone Splinters were pretty much dead cards. Gauntlets of Light. Okay, so that's another decent target for me to get rid of. So I will definitely take 4 here. Do I attack? Opponent will be dealing 2 damage to me per turn. I don't think I can play out. I can afford to play out the Fen Lurker. I think I need this behind as a blocker. So I think I'll just play out the Audacious Defense Sacrifices, since I don't really want to lose life at this point. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I could. I mean, this does require triple black, since I have to return it and then play it and then sacrifice. So I think the right choice here is play out the Audacious Thief, activate Bone Splinters, sacrifice Audacious Thief, since I don't really want to, again, and I think I'm fine attacking with the ground creatures, and if he wants a double block, it's a 2-for-1, so we'll try this. Now we have a good aerial blocker against the 1/1s. And we do potentially have lethal if he decides to go for an all-out attack. And I'm happy blocking off the Spectral Sailor if he goes for it. Boreal Elemental, that's a good one. Could again attack in the ground and then play out the Cutthroat. I don't think I mind that. And I'll leave behind the 1/3. So yeah, let's move to attacks. He does need to block one, since it would result in... it's fine. Opponent can take 2, and I can kill it off with my own Cutthroat to follow up, and I can even Fen Lurker and make him discard. Alright, opponent's going for a double block, sure. I think I'm happy with this. And the Cutthroat is a nice follow-up. I don't know why the auto tapper's like that. Let's just tap efficiently like this. And now the Fen Lurker can make him discard one of his 2 that he has been holding. The opponent exiles a Loyal Pegasus. Okay. Not that important since he can't block it, but this 1/2 can still block. I guess this card can't block alone, but I do have a follow-up Chandra's Spitfire. So, guess if I attack, what happens? He can block one of them and block here, and then I can leave with my other Spitfire. And I can pump this maybe twice. I don't know. I can pump this twice, yeah. So yeah, let's move to attacks. I think he's forced to block one of these, and I can just pump the Fen Lurker twice if need be. If he double blocks, I'm obviously just going to pump once. And I think the Warden's a better target for me to get rid of. Okay. He's double blocking. That's still a fine 2-for-1. Sure, we'll allow this to happen. I'll pump this once so I can play out the Spitfire. Luckily, the opponent is playing lots of small flyers, so I'm able to pressure him with my big ground creatures. And yeah, pretty decent victory. Double Bone Splinter is definitely important in this type of deck. Any important changes? Not really. This isn't a bad hand. I do have a 3-drop, and then if I can attack, I can follow up with Cutthroats. We're on a draw. I think this is fine. Again, I always prefer like 1 or 2 drops, but it's still okay since we can kind of curve out, and we'll leave with a Swamp since we have a chance of top decking like Defend Lurker and a Scorch Spitter, so the opponent's also playing red aggro. Ooh, I do love myself an Aerialist, but we'll be taking 2 here. I do have an Agonizing Siphon in the deck that can maybe enhance this by 1, but it's not much. Right, I think I'll play a Swamp to hide my second color, and the opponent will trickle me down to 4. And now what do I play? Could just play the Aerialist next turn, since the opponent could just shock the Audacious Thief. I mean, he could always just murder as well. So, maybe Audacious Thief is important, since if I can attack, I can curve out with the Cutthroat. So I'll try that. It still blocks off the 1/1. But if he shocks this, I wouldn't be surprised. Probably has one. Yep. And his own Audacious Thief. Okay. Alright, I guess our plan here is just get the Draco stuff. Now what do? I could just play out the Aerialist to block. Don't know which one's more important to me. I just play out the Cutthroat, since I don't really care if it dies, and this can block off the 2/2. You could have like a Blade Brand or a Murder or something to clear a path and draw cards. Epicure, okay. That is a good target to Bone Splinters. Huh. I could play out the Aerialist Bone Splinters to 4/4. And then next turn I can just resurrect it back with the Soul Salvage. Yeah, I think I'll get rid of Aerialist since this costs cheap. And I do need to get rid of this 4/4, else it's just going to do a ton of damage to me. So we'll try this. We do need to kind of play defense here. And if I top deck a Mountain, I'm just gonna... I think I'm fine. Okay, that's a lot of damage, but I'm happy blocking off the Audacious Thief, since he's just gonna draw cards off of this and is a much more important card to remove. I will be taking 4, which is a lot, but I'm still alive as long as I have blockers. Okay, so let's play a Soul Salvage. We can even put the Sanitarium Skeleton as discard fodder, but I think I still need it as the extra blocker, so we'll keep playing defense. I think I'm fine blocking up a token if he goes out for an all-out attack, since I don't really want him to revive this. Abomination's annoying, but I can still chump it. Mask isn't bad. Mask is pretty good. Yeah, sure. Could play Audacious Thief, since it can draw me a card, but Aerialist has evasion, and it's still a decent blocker, so we'll play out the Mask. And could sacrifice it now to prevent the extra damage, but I think it's fine. It's better if I just block and sacrifice with it. Yep, and I think I'm willing to block here and sack, just to get rid of that Scorch Spitter. Another Audacious Thief, but we still have good blockers on the ground. Fenlurker isn't bad. I think I can just play it out. Get him to exile one of his cards. Exiles a Mountain. It's going to take me a while to get to Dracoseth, but I'll happily play out this Audacious Thief, and I can still chump with the Sanitarium Skeleton, and I still have decent blockers on the ground. Okay then. Alright, we're about to get to turn 7. Drakusef just one more mountain, so this Keldon Raider can hopefully allow me to get there. We'll see. Don't mind him hitting me with the Vampire, don't care. So I think I'll move the blocks here, block here, and then we can sacrifice the Sanitarium Skeleton, as always, to deal with this Vampire before it connects. So Sanitarium Skeleton definitely doing a lot of work in this matchup. And then I think we'll play the Keldon Raider here. And we're happy discarding the Swamp since we don't really need it. I mean, the Swamp does allow me to play Sanitarium Skeleton. This Pack Mastiff isn't going to do much, so yeah, we'll just get rid of the Pack Mastiff. Ooh, Mountain's good, so now we can revive the Sanitarium. Should play out the Mountain, tap differently, but at least I can have a good blocker here. And then now I can start swinging in the air for 3, which is nice. And the Sanitarium Skeleton can basically hold off this Pharaoh Abomination. Right, even a Disfigurant. I don't mind maybe taking 5 here, it should be okay. And I could just play Drakusef and win the game from there on out. Yeah, no blocks. Maybe just leave back the Bloodthirst Aerialist. Ooh, that's a nice one. Yeah, unfortunately we do have to exile this mountain. I can shump this for days. So yeah, I guess we are kind of behind now. It is a bit annoying that he can sack this Fenlurker. I mean, pump this Fenlurker, so I could just mask on the skeleton and then just use it right away, which I don't hate. And then maybe I can chump with the Scorch Spitter, or I could just double block with the Scorch Spitter and the Keldon Raider. I don't hate that. And this Aerialist can start getting in there. Yeah, I think I'm happy double blocking. This 5/5 is going to be a nuisance if I can't answer it eventually. Hopefully the opponent can't soul salvage anything back. Okay, guess I'll just keep land in hand. Play out the Sanitarium Skeleton. Equip the mask on it, and then like we can 2-for-1 the opponent if he decides to attack. Since we can block, and then we can also just use a skeleton to sack. So yep, this looks good. Could attack in with the 3/3 as well, since if he attacks with both, I could just block and sack. But this is a little bit safer in case the opponent has something. Even a Cutthroat. Yeah, I think I'm fine sending in all, and I can play a follow-up with a Cutthroat. I could also just equip the mask. Okay, a Murder at instant speed, sure. He had to fire it off eventually. Could block in and have like a shocking response, but opponent just chumps. Okay, I could just leave the other Cutthroat behind, like... Yeah, I think I'll do that, and then if the opponent has something big, we can just attack with both and use the Cutthroat to finish it off. Yeah, so let's try this. And I can still sacrifice the skeleton and the turn to deal 1 damage to the opponent's face. So yeah, Matt's definitely doing a lot of work in this type of matchup. I can even just sacrifice the skeleton, in fact, and then play the Cutthroat. I think I'll do that. Even Bone Splinters, but yeah, this is a little bit better. Yeah, Matt's definitely doing a lot of work in this matchup. Alright, managed to outgrind the opponent. So yeah, Mask does have a bit of combo potential in Black-Red with the whole Phantom Fleet Cutthroats. It's great with Death Touch if you have it, I guess. It's also nice pinging off the 1/1s and dealing face damage. So yeah, Mask is definitely a bit of an overperformer with the Sanitarium Skeleton if you have them both out. But it was looking kind of scary since the opponent did have like really good board advantage in the early game. Alright, so Mask and Spitfire, this looks good, just need a third land drop, we're on the draw. So I think we're obviously going to gamble this hand. Opponent starts out of a mountain, could have a shock. He did go down to 6, so... Okay, so red-green, so he's definitely going with the whole, the whole Gruul route. I could play the Ember Cat. If it does get shocked, that would kind of suck. But what happens if I play this out? I guess if I play out land, it does help me ramp out Spitfire in case I don't get a land, so we'll gamble on it. It could get shocked again, but it's not the end of the world. If he wants to use shock right away, that's fine, sure. Since there's better targets for him to shock. Here, could just play out the Audacious Thief. Don't hate it, and if we pick up a land, we can follow with the Cutthroat. Could play the Chandra Spitfire, could attack him for 2, but I think the Audacious Thief getting this out early is better. It's just not an important threat, and if the opponent has removal, then he just used up a shock, so nice to follow this up with another powerful threat. And Chandra, not the best Chandra, it's not all that scary, so...
I'm a pretty great pyromancer. Study.
I'm not really scared of it.
I just want to burn stuff already.
Could just play Goblin Smuggler here. I think I'll do that, and then we can get in for 4. We don't need to worry about. Okay. Well, that's a quick concession. Yeah, the rare Chandra isn't all that great. The uncommon Chandra and the mythic Chandra are where you want to be. Rare Chandra is pretty bad in M20, so don't ever try to first pick it. Currently 3-0. Do want to start doing Ikoria bot drafts in the future. Okay, Scorch Spitter, and yep, should be okay. We are on the draw. Hopefully we don't flood, but this is still a fine hand to keep. Alright, well, I do like myself a Goblin Smuggler. Follow up with the Scorch Spitter. Okay, blue-green elementals, so it's Simic. I think I'll play the Swamp out here, and then we can start getting in there. Don't think I care about if you have this Flash Dude. Like, this is still a fine trade. Pack Massive is a great follow-up. Next turn, if he doesn't play anything, I am definitely going to be a bit suspicious. Because he could have the Ambush guy, the Brineborn Cutthroat, but I guess he has a Denizen. So sure, I think... I do like myself a Spitfire. And then next turn I can sneak in the Goblin Smuggler. I don't hate that. I think I'll try that out. I could attack with Pack Mastiff and offer a trade, but I do want to develop this Spitfire, so we'll try this instead. And we have a nice combo here, giving the 1-1 evasion and attacking for 4 in the air. I don't care if he's milling us, it's going to take him a long time, and he's just going to mill 2 per turn. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a slow clock if he decides to go that direction. I think I want to give evasion to the Scorch Spitter since I do want to keep this around to enhance this constantly. Otherwise, I could just attack with all and maybe fine using the Cutthroat to finish off the Sage's Road Denizen if he blocks the Scorch Spitter. But if he's going to keep all his mana up, I'm going to be a little bit suspicious in the meantime. Cloud can sear, okay, that's fine. Do want my double black eventually, but we should have more swamps in the deck. Don't need to worry about him milling just these two cards. And we get picked up a swamp anyway, so now this looks good. We can play swamp, we can play out the Goblin Smuggler. I highly doubt he has anything at 1 mana for green to do anything, so I think this is a nice combo, and we can start getting in there for 6, essentially, if he doesn't block this 1-3. So this is going to deal a lot of damage. We even have this Agonizing Siphon to get a blocker out of the way if we need to. I don't care if he attacks, we're outracing them. Could have like a trick, I guess, so next turn we could just go for a maneuver. And then if he has a trick, we can just finish it off with a Cutthroat. I don't hate it. He obviously might have some pump tricks. Okay, he has a Warden, so he has a good blocker, so the Siphon looks good here. We can siphon away the Warden. Again, I don't care about losing any of those cards, so yeah, let's just Agonizing Siphon on this 2-2. And then we can grant the Scorch Spitter evasion, and we can get in there for another huge points of damage. Maybe even force the opponent to chump after he realizes how much damage he's going to be taking. Now these cards I really care if he mills. Eventually we'll get to Drakusef if we pick him up, since we have 6 lands. And all we need is a 7th plus Drakusef to close out the game. Another Warden, okay. Opponent might be just forcing a double block scenario here. Hopefully we top deck something good. So if I attack with all, what happens? I could just Goblin Smuggler to Pack Mastiff and stay back. I actually don't hate that idea. I mean, I could give the Scorch Spitter evasion, attack in, and then it will lead to a good 2-for-1. Do I really care about his flyers? Not really. So yeah, let's try that. Let's get in there with the Pack Mastiff. I just really care about dealing damage at this point. I don't really think I care about anything else, so we'll just do this. And this is essentially, yeah, let's get him down to 5 since one more swing for the Scorch Spitter is lethal. I could attack the Scorch Spitter too and just kill him, but so now I have plenty of lethal threats. Goblin Smuggler giving Pack Massive Evasion, Scorch Spitter hitting in for once. Opponent just needs to just gain life, I guess, this turn. But yeah, Goblin Smuggler is definitely an excellent red common. Definitely one of the best ones in this set, along with Outrage and Shock and the Lavakin Brawler. And 4-0, let's keep going. Alright, I don't hate this. We are on the draw, but Ember Cat can ramp out to Spitfire. Just need a double black source, but this is still a good keep. And hopefully we can get the turn 7 for this powerful Drakusef. But we'll see. Opponent's down to 6. Alright, could have a turn 1 Scorch Spitter, doesn't. I'm happy to lead with a Sanitarium Skeleton as a good defensive creature. Double red, Ember Hauler. Okay, could answer my Ember Cat here, but we'll see. I'm happy to just play it out. And I won't block it since I do want to ramp into this Spitfire. And I'll happily take 2. I can hold off the rest of these. I don't really want to trade because if I do miss a land drop, I won't be able to cheap out this Chandra Spitfire, so I'll gladly take 2. Opponent passes. So he's thinking of other 2-drops potentially better, but I guess I'm fine maybe attacking now and playing out the Spitfire. But if he attacks with a 2/2 next turn, he could just, I could double block, I guess, killed off, but he can just shock away my Ember Cat. I mean, is there any reason to even ramp, to be honest? I mean, yeah, he could just finish off my Spitfire. I guess if I attack, then I could just double block and kill this, I guess, so it should be fine still. So we'll just move to attacks. I'm fine if the opponent wants to trade for the Ember Cat. And nope, but we will play out a Spitfire. And he could shock it, I guess, and then use this Ember Hauler, but that'll be a 2-for-1 against the opponent. And I don't really have any combo potential for this. It's just going to be a mediocre blocker at the end of the day, so. Okay, Maniacal Rage, so the opponent is definitely going all aggro here. Could chump block this, but don't have enough mana to replay it, so I'll happily take 3. Next turn we can double block this Scorch Spitter. I guess he's just going to Ember Hauler away to 2/2 since I don't have any good blocks against this Scorch Spitter. It's definitely possible. Opponent just passes, okay. Guess I can just play out the Pack Mastiff, and am I fine attacking with the Scorch Spitter? I don't think 1 damage will do much. Since next turn I'd rather just double block with 2/2s maybe. Yeah, we'll just pass. Or 2/2 and a 1/2. Maybe just block with the Ember Cat and the Sanitarium Skeleton. He could 2-for-1. I mean, he could like sacrifice this, so I might have to throw all my blockers in front of it. We'll see. Since this 3/3 I don't really want around. Okay, a Destructive Digger. I don't really care about that. I should have enough blockers still, but this Ember Hauler is being a little bit annoying in the meantime. Audacious Thief, okay. And yeah, I could just force him to use the Ember Hauler on the Audacious Thief. I don't hate it. Opponent is playing some weird mono red deck, but he is missing his land drops, or maybe he doesn't have his second color. Overall, I'm not upset if he uses the Ember Hauler and the Audacious Thief, since now I can make some clean blocks against this 3/3 Scorch Spitter. Could have a shock, so I might just trip quad block. He could have like a double strike, we'll see. Land is decent. Could just get in there with the Ember Cat. I don't hate it, and then we can play the Cutthroats. Sure. And if he doesn't fall for it, I guess I'll still play it anyways, just to have an extra blocker. And then I can still revive the creatures if they end up dying with the Soul Salvage. So I think the game plan is to develop the board. opponent can use all his removal, but the Soul Salvage will basically get everything back. So I'm not upset if I lose anything here. Alright, opponent goes for it, so what happens? He could have a double strike trick, so it's going to become a 4-4 double strike. If we block with like this and this, what will happen? He can double strike over... I could just block with all, I mean, it's not unreasonable. Since if this becomes a 4-4 double strike, I guess he will be able to kill off here, and I should have enough power. So yeah, I think I'll block with everything. And if he has the Uncaged Fury, it still results in a trade. And he doesn't, okay. Ooh, another Spitfire, okay. Don't mind swinging with one of them now. Don't think I want to trade in... I can attack with the Pack Mastiff. Yeah, why not? We'll attack with the Pack Mastiff. Since I could just follow up with a Spitfire. Or, yeah, let's attack with the Ember Hauler, right, maybe. Let me see. I could just ramp out the Ember Hauler, but I still don't have enough to play Soul Salvage. So yeah, we'll just get in with both of these. It should be fine. I'm fine with the trade. And we should have a, we should be able to still block off this Destructive Digger quite nicely. Opponent is just in mono red, I guess. So you could have a lot of, like, Chandra's Outrageous. Okay then, I think I'm fine attacking with both my Spitfires, and then we can play the Flyer. I could Soul Salvage too, but I don't think I care. I think I just want to kind of develop my creatures in my hand, and then we'll see what he plays in the future. Could have the... okay. Sacrificing a land to draw, so... I mean, he is going down a land, so... It's not... He is behind on tempo, so... It's not the end of the world. I could offer to trade with the Pack Mastiff next turn. Opponent's just tapping out, okay. Well, this is really nice, since if he's stuck on 2 lands this whole game and I'm just smashing him, then I basically win. And the opponent just concedes, so... alright, 5 in 0. Just another 7-win black-red draft, I guess. Since no one really knows how to draft M20, I guess, then and black-red is what the bots don't really value too much in this set. I mean, a third land gives us access to Audacious Thief. It is going to take a while to get to the Pack Mastiff. We are on the play. Don't know, I'm kind of skeptical. I mean, it could be risky, but we'll keep it. Don't think I'll get to Drakuseth. If I can find a way to maybe discard Drakuseth, that can be pretty nice. So if I can maybe find a Keldon Raider late, discard this, then that would be pretty decent, since I can just return back with Soul Salvage. Opponent's playing black-red life gain. And a Fencing Ace, that's a pretty decent blocker against this Audacious Thief, but we'll play him out. Attack with him so we can draw a card next turn. And then hopefully find some red for this to develop this Pack Mastiff. Opponent has his own Audacious Thief, okay. I think I'm still willing to trade for the Fencing Ace, since I do need to kind of leverage this card advantage. And with Fenlurker and Sanitarium Skeleton, I can still double block the Audacious Thief here. So I think I'm fine with this. I could always, of course, just play the Sanitarium Skeletons and Bone Splinters, but I think I'm better off saving that for something scarier. So opponent could just 2-for-1 me next turn, but I think I'm fine if that happens, since I do need to kind of develop the board, in a sense. Did I find something good in his hand that he's looking to keep? I am missing my land drops, so that's quite important that we attacked with this Audacious Thief. Hello, opponent. I guess he just might just rope himself out and give me the free win. I mean, this is currently 5-0. Okay, Angelic Gift. That's a good card for me to remove, but it could imply he has something better. But if he can give this Audacious Thief flying, it can be quite bad for me. But I do have a good double block on this. If he does give this flying, I don't mind Bone Splintering the Sanitarium Skeleton next turn to get rid of this, since it's going to be pretty scary. Inspiring Captain. Okay, he can definitely attack past. And he can draw a card, so that's pretty bad for me. Right, no blocks. And this isn't looking good. I mean, I could hold this Yorox Fenlurker back as a pump spell. I think I'll do that. I don't mind double blocking the Thief next turn. Should I double block or just block once? He could attack with both, draw a card. But I do have this Fenlurker back again to pump. Pretty tricky. I think it's fine to just pump once. He might not have another way to pump it. Sure, let's do this. Right, trade is good, and now we can Bone Splinters away this Inspiring Captain, but hopefully I do want to hit a land drop eventually. Blood Burglar I don't really care about, he can gain life. This is going to hit me a little bit slowly, but it's still fine. Okay, don't mind the Bone Splinters here. And we can get rid of this Inspiring Captain, sacrifice the Sanitarium Skeleton. And I could just play the Pack Mastiff and offer to trade. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Sure, why not? I mean, it's more mana efficient to just play the Spitfire, but I do want to get rid of this Blood Burglar if possible, so I will offer to trade here. And next turn I can just play out the Spitfire. Yeah, I might just play Kelton Ray or discarding Drakuseth. Yeah, fine trading this. And I'm still at 12 life, so I'm stabilizing quite nicely, unless the opponent has ways to get his creatures back. I am behind on tempo, of course. Opponent definitely has a lot more card advantage due to this Audacious Thief. Alright, Master Spicer is definitely scary, but I can take 4 for now. Hold off the 1-3. This is interesting. I could bring back the Sanitarium Skeleton and Chump, but I think the Spitfire can block better, so we'll play her out. And hopefully I can get double red for this Keldon Raider. And I might just discard a second Spitfire, since I believe the Drakuseth can just deal more damage and just help me win the game, so I don't know if I want to discard it. Steadfast Sentry, that's a good one. Land, that's not the type of land I need. Guess I'll just play out the second Spitfire, take 4. If I soul salvage, what can I get back? I could get back the Pack Mastiff and block. I could always just get back, I guess, the Fenlurker and get rid of the last card in his hand. Then double block the Steadfast Sentry, but then he's going to have like a 5/5, which can be pretty difficult to deal with. So this is quite a difficult scenario. Huh. I think I gotta go for it. Angelic, okay, it's just a land. Alright. Do I double block this? Probably. I mean, I don't really want to give a counter, but I don't think I have a choice. I can't afford to take this extra 3 damage. Could put on his Flyer, of course. Yeah, I think he will, and then I can play out the Spitfire. Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this. I guess Kelden Raider can hold off to 4/4, and I might just be dead, I guess. Since if I trade here, I could chump. So yeah, let's try this. And the Spitfire. Okay. Darn. Okay, so if the opponent attacks all out, I think I'm dead. But if he doesn't, I can still hold them back. Okay, he goes all out. So yeah, I think it's just game over here. Game. Close. If I could play my land, I guess I could stabilize and be at 1 life, and then I can play Drakuseth and win, but missing on the red mana was definitely a huge blow. But I still think we play the Kelden Raider in this deck, since it's quite important to kind of loot away the essential stuff that we don't need. Alright, I don't hate this. This looks like a good keep. Could just lead with a Scorch Spitter since it does a little bit more damage, but it could be kind of awkward if we top deck a Yorox Fenlurker, but we can always play that later. So I think I prefer having a little bit more damage if the opponent doesn't have a 1-drop, since the 2 damage could be important, and the opponent plays a Sanitarium Skeleton. Right, a little bit punished there, but eventually we can get a Goblin Smuggler and maybe get this across. Opponent might have to use premium removal on this Audacious Thief. Could have a Blade Brand, of course, as well. Could have a Bone Splinters. Yeah, I don't hate a Bone Splinters. This is nice. He might have missed a land drop here, so... Yep, missed a land drop, so we're definitely in control here. And I think I might just keep land in hand in case he has the Fenlurker, since he's playing black. And I don't really need another swamp regardless, so... In case he has a Fenlurker, I think this is a better option for me. And I think I'll attack with the Audacious Thief here to draw a card. And I could just Bone Splinters his own Audacious Thief. But, okay, opponent trades even, sure. Now I can start playing out the lands, and then this Bone Splinters can help me get rid of something out of the way next turn. Could just play out his own Skeleton just to hold everything back. I'm fine with that. Now keep in mind the opponent is playing black, so he does have cards like Murder, which can be quite an obstruction to this Dracoseph. And then we can say go. Mind Rot, that's not good. Are we gonna get the Dracoseph? I mean, you have to wish, right? So, opponent main decking Mind Rot might even have a Murder in his hand, but Spitfire is looking nice. But we'll move to attacks first. The question is, do I play out the Spitfire? I think I do, since it's a good flyer. And if I do pick up the Goblin Smuggler, it can be pretty nice with the Scorched Spitter. Most players don't really main deck Mind Rot, so I don't think. Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be a little bit hard to beat.
Let's get toasted.
I do need to deal with that. So, how do we do this? I think we just attack with all. Unfortunately, I think we might have to. Yeah, let's attack with all. I don't mind if he eats the Scorched Spitter. I do need to answer this.
You got it.
Chandra.
What? That's it?
Even the Pyromancers. Right, so this deck is definitely going to be...
I'm fired up.
We're definitely going to have a hard time beating this opponent.
Pyromaster and Firebrand.
So we do need to end this game quickly. Hopefully we top deck a land to resolve this Dracoseph. Another Spitfire's okay. Yeah, this is rough. Yeah, this is really rough. Maybe I do have to pressure the big Chandra, since he has the potential to kill my Dracoseph. And a Dragon's Mage, okay. Might have to chump the Dragon Mage. But he probably might not even attack with it, since it's going to make me draw a million cards. Keldon Raider. It's a May ability, so I won't discard. I'll just play him out. Yeah, I don't think I can beat this. This card is just insane. Even a Vengeful War Chief could just drain me out here. I actually want him to attack this Dragon Mage. I mean, I guess I could just chump it, but if I take 5, it could just be over. Yeah, I think it's game over here. Just need an extra land for the Dracoseph, the Mind Rot, and then the double Chandras. Definitely that's unbeatable, so. Bit rough, but gotta take it. Some games you just can't win, and that's definitely one of them. So a 5 and 2. Maybe we can get to 7, maybe not, but I'm still fine if we don't get there. Okay, this is nice. Scorch Spitter, alright. And then Mask. That's pretty decent. And then once we get our third land, we can get our Audacious Thief out. So hopefully the opponent stumbles and we can just kind of take advantage of that situation. Opponent could raise the alarm next turn, but I could be fine still attacking since I can sacrifice this at instant speed if he decides to block a Scorch Spitter. Moorland Inquisitor, I don't hate that. I could just attack with a Scorch Spitter and then sacrifice to get across the finish line. So that's also an option. I mean, I don't hate it. If I play out Audacious Thief, he might keep up First Strike. We'll just play him out. And I can definitely offer to trade here. Could raise the alarm, but I'm fine. It is a 1-for-1, but actually a 2-for-1 since I'm drawing cards anyways off of this. So definitely nice to get this going, and I'll play out my Audacious Thief, and then next turn we can Goblin Smuggler it. And I'm happy to play out land since he's not playing black. He won't have any discard synergies going on. Unchained Berserker, I mean, do I really care about that? Probably do since he might have a pump spell with this. I can always just equip the mask and get rid of it, but we'll try the Goblin Smuggler here. I think I'm fine putting the mask onto the Goblin Smuggler since that's a higher priority for him to kill. And I think I'll give this unblockables because since he's in white-red, it's an aggro archetype. There's no doubt he's going to have some pump tricks. And to raise the alarm, okay. I could just keep the 2-2 behind the blocker. I will be taking a lot though. But drawing cards is definitely nice, so yeah, we'll move to attacks. We'll draw some cards here. I will be taking 5, of course. But I can still stabilize with my ground creatures, so I don't mind that. And if he kills my Goblin Smuggler, I can just answer the Unchained Berserker. Yeah, we'll take 5 here. Sure. I guess I can attack with both. Since even if he uses the token maker, I can still sacrifice the Goblin Smuggler, get a blocker out of the way. And this is just really nice here, just curving out like this. And I can still trade off this Fen Lurker for this Unchained Berserker, hold off the 1/1s. So this is doing a lot of good work for us. Sky Knight Vanguard, okay. Huh, that's interesting. Do I kill that? I mean, there's a chance I could just kill off my creature and then hit his face and then trade off for this Sky Knight Vanguard. I mean, I don't hate that play. So, I could attack with this, force a double block. Very interesting. Don't think I need to Bone Splinter this. I could just ambush with the mask. So yeah, let's equip the mask onto the Audacious, no, not the Audacious Thief. Maybe on the Fen Lurker? Yep. We'll do it on the Fen Lurker. Then I guess I can give the Audacious Thief evasion. With attacks. Let's get in there. And the Pack Massive is a pretty nice card to have too. And then I can Yorox Fenlurker to face and block the Sky Knight Vanguard. I actually don't hate that play. And then the 2/2s can still hold off the opponent. Alright, so kind of expecting something like this. We'll let that resolve. So we're going to move the block steps. You could have a shock here. That could be pretty annoying. But we'll just hit pass. I think the blocks are going to go something like this. Like this. Like this. This can be tricky. So, I can definitely... So this is blocked. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah, still the face. So then we can trade off for the Sky Knight Vanguard, which is an important creature to get rid of, and I can still trade off here pretty decently. So yeah, I think this is where we want to be. Could still hold back. I could go down to 4. I think I need to draw cards here, so I think we'll just do this. Keldon Raider isn't bad. So now, yeah, I can just play out the Keldon Raider. Discard Swamp, draw a card, Bloodthirst Aerialist, pretty decent blocker, and then this can be nice. Since he did blow in Inspired Charge, and if I double block here, and he has Inspired Charge, it's still not lethal. I think we will block like this. That's pretty annoying. Could Soul Salvage here, get his final card. This is interesting. I guess if I attack with all, it's lethal unless he has a trick. I could always just get the Fenlurker out first. We'll do that. And we can ensure that this is lethal pretty much, since I can just attack with all and finish him. Alright, just one more victory, and then, yeah, let's take a snapshot of this before everything ends. So going to move the interaction over onto this side. We will take a dumb photo. And then, yeah, hopefully we get our lucky 7. Right, not bad. Ember Cat, Audacious Thief, Goblin Smuggler looks good. We are on the play, so as long as we get our third land, we should be fine. But if we don't, then if we stumble our mana, then it's going to hit us pretty hard. So yeah, I mean, I guess the Ember Cat can at least ramp out the Spitfire if we don't get a land. Okay, Heart Piercer, so he's on the Heart Piercer game plan. Missed the land drop, but we can resolve this Spitfire at least. Develop the board. If he has many of these Heart Piercer bows, I'm going to be in a bit of a pickle here. I mean, I might as well offer to trade, since I don't even know if we're going to top deck another Spitfire, and I do need to get this 2-2 out of the way and start doing some damage because we are an aggro deck. Give a second bow, and if he does that, and he equips on the Frostlinks, it's pretty much game over, I guess. Maniacal Rage, alright. Well, this is a good target for the Reduce to Ashes, but we currently don't have any Reduce to Ashes, so might have to set up a double block on this next turn. Could just try to race him. Since if he does have a trick, that can be a problem. Yeah, let's try to race him. Maybe we can chump block with something. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm fine attacking. Could have like a bounce trick. Since if I do set up a double block, it can lead to a huge blowout if he has a bounce trick. So I gotta be careful not to play defense too highly here, and unsummon Nuit. Okay, so he does have a bounce trick to keep me off guard. Huh. I think I do need to offer the bounce trick again. This is interesting. Could play out the Spitfire. I mean, maybe that could be better. This is close. I mean, I could just offer the double block maybe, since either way, I'm gonna be low on life, so I don't want to go down too high. So I think I'll attack the Scorch Spitter and say go, the Spitfire. And he did use an unsummon. He could just be tricking me here, but I think I have to go for it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fall too behind. I know the opponent probably wants this, but I really can't afford to fall back. Alright, well. Ooh, that's pretty nice, okay. Now we can play out the Audacious Thief, attacking for 1. Since this can draw me cards is a lot better, and I can still follow it with like Found Fleet Cutthroats. And a Lightning Stormkin, but I can block that off. It's still gonna attack past the 1-3, unfortunately, since it can deal damage, so. Could just play out the Aerialist. Could just play double Scorched Chandra Spitfire, I don't hate that. Yeah, that might be better, just playing a second Spitfire. I can still afford to take 1 here and draw a card. I could just fry it up, but I think the Spitfire is more important. Since I don't really want to use 5 mana removal spell on a 2-2. Since you could have something bigger. Okay, at least it's not Drakuseth. I'm fine with that. Opponent stays back. I think I'm fine attacking with the Audacious Thief for now. I'm fine if he wants to trade or do double blocks on it. Alright, I think we have this. Ooh, Chandra. I guess he can upgrade the elementals, but we still have some good
I
blocks.
think I'm a decent enough pyromancer.
So it's lucky. It's nice that I managed to essentially put up all these blockers.
Look at
So
all these friends.
guess he'll take out the Scorch Spitter. That's fine. All right, we definitely need to make some blocks here. Yeah, I don't think I can afford to take all this. We'll just leave everything behind like this. And opponent just passes, okay. I guess I can just reduce to ashes now and just go face. Alright, sorry, my mom was in the room, so she definitely delayed the game on this, but yeah, nice 7-2. Definitely going to be drafting more Ikoria later, so yeah, let's get some Ikoria videos after this, but for now, let's crack our packs. Pack 1, pick 1, Coreset 2020. I'll take whatever the rare mythic is. Ooh, Omnath. Definitely a powerful bomb. Especially in the teamer colors, elementals are a supported tribe in this set, so definitely a powerful first pick. Otherwise, Tomebound Lich is also excellent. And here, pack 1, pick 1, Mythos is excellent. There's also Flourishing Fox if I want to force the red-white cycling deck. Same with the Snare Tactician. So, I mean, both of these are powerful archetypes, but Mythos is definitely very good. It's a little bit hard, maybe tricky to kick this for the red and green, but if you do, it's pretty nice since it can fight up to one target creature. So I don't know, it really depends on what you want to do. I'm not a really big fan of committing to archetypes in this set, but red-white is definitely a very easy archetype to draft in Ikoria, so I mean, Flourishing Fox is a consideration, Snare Tactician, but I think the Illuna has a little bit more upside. So there we have it, nice win M20 video, and I will be drafting Ikoria soon enough, so in the meantime, if anyone is out there, stay safe and have a great day.